Crank that whole sound, son.
Yeah, I get that dope and then flip it. I fuck that bitch and then quit it. Don't waste my time smoking midgets. Got Tampa Bay on the fitted. You know I'm smoking strong.
Stack of Wood podcast, man. We back, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm yeeted up right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just got yeeted on, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Uso. You know? Huh? We here, man. We back. Stack of Wood podcast, man. You know, we covering everything in sports, entertainment, current events, anything worth talking about on the internet. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Rocking with your boy Stack, a.k.a. Stack Uso. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do it, man. We're going to jump right into it. First topic of the day. Let me take these off because I really can't see. But y'all did just get yeeted on. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. We got Kanye West. You know, he's speaking on the beef with Drake. Says Kendrick killed Drake, which we already know that. For now, in Justice LaBoy X Yee interview, he say just for now though. I don't know, man. That shit might be over forever. Shit, I don't know what he gonna do. I mean, we know he wasn't gonna stop him from being successful. Like, so like that's not that doesn't determine the win or the loss. Cause like some people, you ain't gonna kill their career. Like I don't think neither one of them could kill each other's career. They too good. But you know, let's see what Ye. You know, he crazy as hell. Let's see what he got to say about the situation. Yee?
You and Drake have had a long-standing beef and battle for years.
Yeah.
Now Drake is at odds with another Gemini, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Who do you think won that rap battle?
Well, one thing is like with Kendrick, I was like, man, why you killed my nemesis? Where's the movies if it ain't no Drake?
Yeah.
For me, it's like, or at least took him down for a little bit. You know, in superhero films, like maybe it's like one of the characters, Wolverine or something, just goes away for a couple films and stuff. I'm like, damn, man, it's like, it was really challenging for me to make Father Stretch My Hands and different things. And man, got work, you know, like top 5 song ever created in life. You know, I'm like, you know, redoing the drums, bringing Metro on. And,
So Kendrick killed Drake. He's dead.
Yeah, for now. You know, you can't ever count out Steph Curry, and so that man might hit 200 points in one, you know, song or something. You know what it was? It's like,
you and Drake have had a long-standing beef and battle for years.
it's like Kendrick brought, like, look at the Tyler, the Creator, freestyle that he did. Like, I'm that guy, right?
Yeah.
We have to, you know, Drake added something to the algorithm. To our frequency. He advanced us. Right. Future advanced us, and our Kendrick has now advanced the frequency.
Right.
So you have to, you know, it's like when Twister came out, there was rappers that didn't learn, right? But then Jay-Z learned. He did that you could do it. Yeah. If you don't really learn as just a professional rapper, as a sport, what Kendrick is doing, you might be wiped.
Yeah.
You might be wiped out. You know, this is like Kendrick brought, like, look at the Tyler, the Creator.
Just announced Bully, the new album. It's on the way. It's your first project, you know, for 3 years since Donda.
Yeah.
Why the title Bully?
You know, my son was playing with some kid, and then he kicked him. And I asked my son, I said, why you do that? He said, 'cause he weak. And I was like, this man is really a bully right here. I gotta.
Saint, you the reason for Bully.
Don't Saint do that. He just kick everybody and like push him over and like just.
I wonder where we get that from. Which parent?
Oh.
Definitely young Ye.
Yeah.
Just announced Bully.
I went to this doctor, one that worked with Justin Bieber, one that worked with, I'm not even gonna name other names and stuff. My wife took me to do that, because you say something about your personality doesn't feel like it's bipolar. I've seen bipolar before.
Yeah.
I've seen, she's educated, so I've seen bipolar before, and come to find out it's really a case of autism.
Wow.
That I have. And autism takes you to a Rain Man thing where you're like, oh man, I'm gonna wear this Trump hat because I just like Trump in general. And then when people tell you to not do it, you just get on that one point. And that's my problem when fans tell me to do my album a certain way. I'll do it the opposite way just because la la, I got my money, right? You're like, you can't. I went to this doc.
He said his own lyrics wrong.
Oh, that was just a remix.
I got my money, right? He did. Hey. But I don't know. He said a lot in that besides just about Kendrick and Drake. But like, I mean, I agree with him about that for now thing. Like Kendrick ain't. I mean, well, he did kill him, but like he ain't stopping nothing. Like he ain't like shit. Drake do got a lawsuit out about that. I mean, did he win that with the Not Like Us shit?
He ain't win a thing.
He just tried to sue.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck? What, defamation of character, motherfucker? He ain't never say your name. We just knew he was talking about you. Shit. Cause he damn sure go before that bitch at the Super Bowl. He got to be the last song he do. He can't do it first. He got to do it last. Get everybody going back in on the what's called. But hey, him saying this song. I mean, did he ever say that he told him not to do that shit? Like you shouldn't do that. Did he ever say that about his son?
Wait, what you mean by not do that?
When he said his son kicked the other kid. Like that's why he named his album Bully because his son. And he said he asked his son why he kicked him, and he said because he weak.
That's funny.
But I don't know if he ever. I don't know if he ever said, "Hey, you shouldn't do that. Like you can't go around kicking people."
He didn't say nothing about that. He just said this kid a bully.
Oh man. Now I guess he's seeing a psychologist or a therapist or whatever. Talking about he not bipolar, he autistic. I mean, maybe. I mean, he could be shit, but I don't know. But either way, I don't know. Then his jit gonna be crazy. Like you ain't say nothing about. Hey man, don't do that. You ain't supposed to be kicking other people. Just because somebody weak don't mean you should. It's never good to punch down. That's never a good thing. Like you should never punch down. Always punch up. Because if you're punching up, you're probably hitting a bully. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well said.
If you're punching up, you're probably hitting a bully. More than likely. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we got Nick Cannon. More on Drake and on Kendrick Lamar. You know, Nick Cannon says Kendrick Lamar won't perform not like us at the Super Bowl due to Drake lawsuit. And it's like, well, if Drake ain't won shit, he better perform this bitch. I know that.
Drake don't need no more money. Like, he doesn't want that song performed on the biggest stage in the world.
In America, sure, yeah.
So the only way to stop that, because Kendrick is going to be employed by the National Football League and Fox and all these, they don't want them legal problems. They don't want to be wrapped up in, hours and hundreds of millions of dollars of legal bills. So they're going to say,
you have to worry about the affiliates, man.
Mr. Lamar, if you want to perform, you can't perform this song because it's a legal matter, because there's been a cease and desist sent to the NFL, sent to Fox.
So it's bigger than K-Town at this point.
Yeah, sent to the city of New Orleans, that if this song that is referencing pedophilia is played in here, that we're gonna sue the city, we're gonna sue the state, we're gonna sue the NFL, they're gonna say you can't perform that song. And then in Drake's mind, that's a win. To me, this is what the lawsuit is all about. The lawsuit is Drake don't need no more.
I don't think he was done.
No, it was just starting over.
Okay. Well, like one of these, somebody in the comments say the NFL already uses "Not Like Us" in the Super Bowl commercials. Nick has no idea what he's talking about, but I've heard it. I've heard that song. I done heard that song playing during games.
Oh, that bitch gonna be. He playing that shit.
Like
He might play that shit twice.
like you say, they have had it on commercials. I've heard it during games. Like, why would they? Like, they chose him to do the Super Bowl because of the damn song. That song is the reason he's performing at the Super Bowl. That's the reason why. I don't know. It may be some truth to what he's saying because that dude, like, it is legal matters wrapped around the song now, but it's like it ain't like the song. He hasn't won the case. If he already done won the case, then yeah. But nothing is final yet. So how can they get in trouble? But like they got him because of the damn song. Like shit. We want to hear the song. The NFL go give you what you want. I'm gonna tell you that right now, shit. For real. I damn sure want him to perform the song. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody do. Except the Drake fans, Some of them probably want to hear it, nigga. They'll never admit it. But, hey, K-Dot has some things to say. We got K-Dot got some things to say. But, hey, I hope he performed the song. Like I said, listening to what Nick Cannon saying, that shit sound like, that sounds right, though. He may be wrong. But it's like, it is legal matters wrapped around it, and don't nobody want to be fucked up in a legal matter. Especially if you somebody like the NFL. So it ain't like what he's saying don't make sense. But he could be wrong because, it ain't like the song has been banned or anything. And they're already using it in commercials. And I've heard them playing this song in stadiums while the game is going on. I've heard it. So maybe because, these legal matters haven't defined anything yet. And so it's like, okay, well, the song is still free reign. But let's see what K-Dot had to say. He speaks on Drake rap battle. My intent from day one was to keep the nature of it as a sport. I don't know, but not like us. You were saying some shit.
Like control.
I'm just saying, certified level 1, certified pedophile. He called him a pedophile. Dog, like,
don't talk about my wife and kids. Talked about my aunt. Talked about my homeboy.
But like,
talked about my wife. Talked about me.
Yeah, nigga, he a 69 guy. Like, yeah, that nigga was saying some shit. He said, how'd your little sister from? Like, that nigga, nah, I mean, if that's sport, god damn. But let's see what he said, man.
I think from day one was to always keep the nature of it as a sport. I don't care how look at it as far as like as a collaborative effort. That's cool too. But I love when artists grit their teeth. Like, I still watch battle raps. I still watch Smack URL from Murder Mook to Lux to Tay Rock. My bro Daylight. This has always been the core definition of who I am, and it's been that way since day one. So I don't think it was a thing for this year. It was always just a continuum. And what I will say about this year, it was more from a space where I think a lot of people was putting rap to the back, and you didn't see that. You didn't see that grit. You didn't see that bite anymore. So I always took that in consideration in going into any type of my music. Intent was to always keep, I think.
Hey, man, say he wanted to keep it as a sport. You know, I mean, shit. He said he still watch battle rap. He took that shit as a battle rap, nigga. Like battle rap, they say crazy shit to your ass, boy. Some niggas they'll fade it during the battle rap.
Mm-hmm. Niggas can't take the pressure and shit. I don't like. I done seen battle rappers get called pedophiles on stage. So like, yeah, this ain't too far from that.
Yeah, no, it's right on. Shit, like, hey, man, listen. If I mean, it's like it's not like this shit turned violent or anything though. It stayed within rap and just disses on the track. Now these disses was some disses now, but I mean it ain't like how these old rap battles was like with Tupac and Biggie and shit like that. Shit turned tragic, but this didn't turn tragic. It was really good, for rap. Especially if you is just keeping it as a sport. And it's like, I don't know though, but from the things they were saying about each other, them niggas probably would have fought. They would have seen each other in the middle of that shit. Like, something would have happened. Like, it'd have been some type of confrontation. I ain't saying nobody would have got hurt or nothing, but maybe they would have fought. But, hey man, I hope he perform that bitch at the Super Bowl though. I'm watching the Super Bowl tonight. And halftime, I'm hoping he performed this song, and I hope he do it last. Like I hope he do a whole bunch of songs, and then the last song, and he got to perform the whole thing too. I want every verse, like, hey, that's what I want. Hey, shit, just to, hey man, he do that.
Well, there's a little bit more of him talking. Did you want to play through?
It was enough. It was more of him talking.
Oh, he speaks on the Grammy wins and what people can expect from the halftime performance.
Oh hell yeah, shit! What the fuck? That's the same one? Oh, that's a different video.
Same interview.
That was the same interview, but
You
it's a
created
different
this
video.
massive cultural award-winning anthem out of a battle rap song, and how is that something, after you got off that Grammy stage, you got home in some quiet time, what was going through your head?
I was just thinking about the culture, really. It's always that for me first. I'm not even bullshit. It's like, when people talk about rap, man, the conversations I hear, they think it's just rap and it's not an actual art form. So when you put records like that at the forefront, it reminds people that this is more than just something that came 50 years ago. They forget that it's even been here 50 years, right? And like, kind of like...
You created this massive cultural award-winning anthem.
Little it. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps, from awards to the billboards, all that, because this is truly just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre. So that's what I think about, and I feel accomplished being able to do that. Whether somebody else come behind me and do it again and quadruple it, I love to see it. If that was my purpose to do that, then that's exactly what it was for that particular moment. Little it. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps, from awards to the billboards, all that, because this is truly just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre. So that's what I think about, and I feel accomplished being able to do that. Whether somebody else come behind me and do it again and quadruple it, I love to see it. If that was my purpose to do that, then that's exactly what it was for that particular moment. Little it. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps, from awards to the billboards, all that, because this is truly just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre. So that's what I think about, and I feel accomplished being able to do that. Whether somebody else come behind me and do it again and quadruple it, I love to see it. If that was my purpose to do that, then that's exactly what it was for that particular moment. Little it. So I love to see that it gets that.
What should people expect to see and understand about Sunday's performance?
Storytelling. I think I've always been very open about storytelling through all my catalog and my history of music, and I've always had a passion about bringing that on whatever stage I'm on. You know, whether it's a war tour or whether it's a 500 people at Key Club. I've always had a form of that. So I like to be on that sense of, you know, make people listen, but also see and think a little.
I think this is gonna.
What should people expect to see?
All right, he gonna tell a story about Drake. Shit. And how he not like us. That's what he gonna do. I think he said some cool shit though, you know, cause this record did help the culture, like, and you know, like he said, a lot of people don't respect rap as an art form, even though it's the biggest genre of music in the world. Like motherfuckers everywhere rap. So you know, but people gonna have their opinions and stuff. But you know, I look at it as an art form, and you know, but you know, they could not look at it as an art form just because it's an art form that we created. But you know, they don't do that with the blues. But I don't know if people give us credit for that because the blues is an American art form created by black people.
I think it's a quiet respect given when it comes to like the blues, but like, you know, there's also the fact that rap has only been around for about 50 years.
That's a long time though.
And it is a pretty.
That's a half a century.
It's a pretty exclusive group too. We don't make it easy for people outside of, well, up until recently, we haven't made it easy for people outside of our own to get into this genre and be taken, you know, serious.
I mean, to be taken seriously by us. It's plenty of motherfuckers outside of us that done made rap music and been successful. It's just that we don't be acknowledging them. But like what? Like nigga, Vanilla Ice was one of the biggest motherfucking things going in his time. We didn't respect that, but they ain't stop him from being rich as hell.
Yeah, no.
I think it's us. We don't be respecting it, but other people are by the music.
Yeah, white people are the biggest consumer of hip hop.
The biggest consumer.
Like the actual put dollars on it, pull the credit card out is white people.
So if you come out with rap and you make something that caters to them, it ain't gonna matter about what the fuck we think. You gonna be doing it.
Well, that's where you got the outliers like Post Malone, but for the most part, you know, and like Eminem, but for the most part, if you don't appeal to us, cause like we dictate what's cool and shit.
Yeah.
If it was as simple as doing what we do, then they'd be doing it. But like it'd be a reason why like it is a black dominated thing. Like it's our story, our authenticity.
Yeah.
You know? So like
I was really more speaking from, you know, being able to be successful in it. Like we might not respect it, but you can still be successful.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, that's what I really mean. Like you know, you can make all kind of shit. Like a lot of motherfuckers didn't classify MC Hammer as a rapper. But MC Hammer was one of the biggest motherfuckers ever. But because a lot of white people like this music. It's like, even with the biggest rappers ever, a lot of white people like their music. But I don't know, it's probably more black people that like it too. But you add on the white people that like it, it's like, now I got all these fans. Like Jay-Z. Well, I don't know. A lot of white people like Jay-Z. But I don't know. Sometimes I think they say that just to make it seem like they know something about rap.
I think a lot of black artists get a bad rap because for a while, I think what it was just polarizing for us to see a black artist get wide appeal from a white audience. Because I don't know, it's like and I could be just speaking for myself, but I feel like we start to look at them type of artists as corny or not, not that. Cause
But it wasn't like that in the beginning though.
I mean, I think MC Hammer is a perfect example of that.
But like the white people had an NWA poster. Like when NWA coming out, they was trying to ban them niggas because them white kids was liking that shit.
Yeah,
they coming home and their kids want to be like Eazy-E and shit. Like they like that shit. The thing with MC Hammer is that his music wasn't gangster, so it wasn't no pushback against him. But NWA, they was canceling them niggas shows and shit, like taking them niggas jail for performing songs, like because of the influence they had. They didn't mind MC Hammer's influence because it wasn't negative. He just gonna make you dance. But these niggas making these suburban white kids want to be gangsters. So we gotta push back against that. Like in the beginning when rap first started, everybody had a wide white audience. Especially when gangster rap came out. Nigga, them white kids was loving that shit. They probably was loving that gangster shit just as much as that MC Hammer shit. But it's just that with MC Hammer wasn't no pushback. They let him do what he was doing. But NWA, they were taking them niggas, like they were trying to take them niggas to jail. Like, you can't perform this song. And they shows like, nah, you can't do this. Like especially in the 90s and shit, because it wasn't this big plethora of artists. So everybody had to like the same people. And then also wasn't no burning those CDs and shit yet, so you had to go buy the album from the store. But then, but see what it is once gangster music took over, that's when we started looking at all that other shit as not cool. Cause in the 80s and shit, everybody was like, before gangster music, you had motherfuckers like Curtis Blow and like, them niggas wasn't rap about no gangster shit. Big Daddy Kane and shit. They looked it like gangsters, but they was just rapping. But once gangster music took over, that's when all that other shit, we was like, okay, if you ain't rap about no gangster shit, then it ain't cool. And gangster rap wasn't even necessarily trap music yet. Even though they was selling drugs and shit, but it was just NWA really, they was calling that shit gangster music, but it was kind of just hardcore, really.
I don't know.
Cause what really gangster shit they was talking about?
NWA and MC Hammer both came out in 1986. So they might have, I don't know, like shoot. They might have took the appeal of the black opinion. They might.
But I think Ice-T came out before NWA. Ice-T was the first gangster rapper. I think people forget that shit. But he wasn't the first person, the first rapper to say some gangster shit though. It was a rapper in Philadelphia named Schoolie D. See, I watched the evolution of hip hop on Netflix. I don't know if they done added new shit to it by now, but I watched that shit in that was probably like 2018, 2019, 2020, somewhere up in there. And, it was the evolution of hip hop. So it started from the beginning on how hip hop started, all the way up until, it got up into the early 2000s. And when Schoolie D was the first person to say some street shit on a record. I forgot what he said, but he said some street shit. But then Ice-T was the first one to really be a gangster rapper. And he was like, he used to Ice-T wasn't a Crip, but he was affiliated with him. Like he hung with him, but he wasn't a part of the shit. Like he wasn't an official member. But he was like, he used to rap for them niggas. Like they wanted to hear him rap. And that's how they what's called it. You see, they got Ice-T in there when you look him up. See, he influenced Ice-T. Cause see, in the interview, the guy was interviewing Ice-T, and he said it. He was like, I'm the first gangster rapper, but I'm not the first person to say some gangster shit on a song. He was like, he broke down Schoolie D, but then they talked to Schoolie D too. So it's like, but Ice-T did have that Dope Man song, I think. So, they was rapping about selling dope a little bit. Not like it was when they really went trap music came out though. Trap, that's when we going real in detail about this shit. But hey man, but rap done came a long way, and shit. I think hopefully this drill music shit go. I think drill music fucked it up. We like that shit, but like everybody can't relate to just a motherfucker get murdered every fucking song. Like, back in the day they used to have a song like that, but it wasn't every song. And a lot of times they would rap about shooting in self-defense more so, but these niggas just on offense. Yeah,
you gotta wipe the board. You can't be on defense no more when you're a YN.
I guess so, shit. But they ain't on nothing to be. They ain't got nothing on to be defense about. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. How are y'all shooting? Speaking of it all, speaking of the culture, got 19 Keys. I don't know why his name 19 Keys. Cause like, is he talking about dope? Keys on the piano? What he talking about? 19 Keys. What that mean?
I have a feeling it means like Keys' success or some shit like that.
I hope so. But he speaks on bringing value to black culture, and but I don't know. I'm gonna say this after he said what he got to say, because people talk about the culture, but some things they don't say.
Present a new generation of radical black consciousness that has always existed, has always cut through, and is always needed. That's why, throughout the history of Breakfast Club, all of the OGs are older. Dr. Claude Anderson is older. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is older. Dick Gregory is no longer here. So, if we don't highlight you or the Wesley Muhammads or the Nuri Muhammads, I feel like, we're doing our culture a disservice. Our community a disservice.
Yeah.
I don't like to use the word culture because I'm not sure if we have one.
Yeah, I think we devalue culture because we don't have enough values that we push, right? If you look around the room, right, it's a lot of great entertainers, right? It's a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars. But, the whole entire point of it is that I think we need to understand what the time we're living in right now. Mm-hmm. Without knowledge of the time, we will lose. And we're in an interesting cycle, right? We're at the end of an empire. And right now they're going to pull out all stops, a complete oligarchy control. Again, people should go study Doge, right? I'm talking about ancient in Venetia that lasted for 1,100 years. And it was a oligarch society, the longest lasting one. They playing in your face. They know that we don't read enough. They know that people not busy enough. They know that they can turn it into a meme, but then run the same play that they've ran throughout history to control the people, right? And so now it's saying that, okay, we know what they doing, but what are we doing? And so, my proposal is having these roundtable discussions in front of the culture, but first having one behind the scenes, right, about our agreements. If you are in an organization, go to your leadership and ask, why aren't y'all working with them? Right? Because what I'm seeing is, listen, they don't care about feelings. If it works where power just wants more power, they don't ever want to give up power. You never gonna understand a man who only just wants power. He just wants to control. It ain't about no money. It's more power. It's just a will to power. If you study Friedrich Nietzsche, he would give a breakdown about how the masters just wanted to influence the populations and control them, right? There are psychological examinations of these people, but if you don't know your enemy and who you dealing with, right, you gonna think that they not as smart as they are. And they vastly intelligent.
That's right.
Right? And they create systems wherever they fail. Their goal is, how do we, number one, they want to keep making money. And they build systems that's going to get rid of 80% of the workforce, and we applaud it. That means we want to take human capital and say it's worth nothing. When human capital is what built this country, right? America is based on its citizens' productivity. But if you can't focus, then it decreases your productivity. So they knew this was going to happen, right? So then they bring in automation and robots and then immigration. But then they went a little overboard with immigration. Now they're scapegoating it as the problem. Instead of you seeing the elites as the problem, you seeing black and white relations in immigration. But even a lot of these white radicals are starting to wake up to say, man, these elites done tricked us. They got us looking at black culture as the enemy the whole time. We can't afford houses and cars and plane tickets. And they stole our American dream while they got us fighting each other on Twitter and algorithms. So even they go wake up and realize, and there's going to be a lot of civil wars that's going to be happening, because they're going to look at this as, man, this ain't got shit to do with no patriotism, right? This is about complete elite control, and that's it. So my thing is, okay, in terms of that, let's build our own cities, let's build our own world. We need devs, we need people that want to help fund these movements. What was my brother that coined the term, the revolution won't be televised? He said the reason is because it starts in the mind first. Right? You can see it on TV, but unless it's in the mind, then ain't nothing gonna be televised.
I feel like, 19 Keys, you represent a new generation of radical black consciousness that has always existed, has always cut through, and is always needed. That's why, throughout the history of Breakfast Club, all of the OGs are older. Dr. Claude Anderson is older. Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan is older. Dick Gregory is no longer here.
I mean, he said a lot of stuff, but it is about power. And like you said, they got us fighting, and he's like, even some of these white radicals gonna wake up and be like, hey man, this shit ain't got nothing to do with all this bullshit they talking about. But it's crazy he said that, because I saw this one guy, white guy, talking. I don't know if he like a professor or something, but he was talking. He was like, way back, when white people was in Europe, they was all fighting each other. Like North Italians felt like North Italians and South Italians, and then Germany and fucking like all these motherfuckers, like all of them was fighting each other until they figured out it was other people they could go kill. But like his whole thing was like what they did. He was like, the one thing about rich people is that rich people can count. And rich people noticed a very, 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 very long time ago that it's more poor people than it is us. And we don't want these people to rise up against us, because if they do, they would win. It's more of them than us. Way more. So what they did was they convinced these white people that black people are their enemy, and then they convinced black people that white people are their enemy, to keep us fighting while they, basically divide and conquer. But what rich people would do is what they did was, okay, we gonna take the white people because they look like us. They got some similar values that we have, but they're not us. They're not like us. They just look like us and have these values. But what we gonna do is we gonna get them a gun, give them a badge, and tell them, hey, give them a horse, and tell them, hey, keep these black people in line because they not like us. Even though you not like us either. But we gonna make you feel like you like us. Cause like that, what's that saying? I don't know if it's just a white man or a poor white man, but if you can convince a poor white man that he's better than the most successful black man, he won't notice you taking money out of his pocket. In fact, he would empty out his wallet for you. That's kind of what he just explained. But those white people are waking up to see it. Now they're seeing they being pickpocketed. But one thing that, they was talking about the culture and stuff, and the one thing what I don't like is, I know that it's a lot of bad things within the black culture or the black community that we need to work on, and some of the stuff is being celebrated that we need to work on. I understand that, but it's good things about our culture though. It ain't all bad. Like shit, we need to fix these bad things, but sometimes people just talk like everything about our culture is bad. Like not all of it. Shit, we use wash rags. Shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black people be disciplined with respect wise. You don't see too many black people telling their mom to shut up. Like, we have like we make like as far as rap, rap fucking shit up right about now. I ain't gonna lie about that. But it's like the people don't talk about like the movies we make and like, I don't know. I just don't think everything is bad about our culture. And when they don't give us credit for all the cool shit we do, shit, mostly everything everybody do, they done copied it from us any goddamn way. The shit. Make good food. May not be healthy, but it's good. But it's like, I'm being funny, but like, I don't think everything about our culture is bad though. Like, we got some good stuff in there. It's just that bad shit overshadows it. It really does though, man. For real, man. But we do need to bring more value to our community. But we need to invest in each other. We need to invest in each other. We need to support each other businesses. We need to we so ready to go spend our money with white people. But at the same time, some of us be bullshitting with these businesses and things like that. We need to tighten that up too. Cause sometimes I done heard people say, hey man, I like Dr. Umar when he said they was using black, construction companies and stuff like that, and some of them was bullshitting around. But they found something that were good, but it's like that we shouldn't have to be searching with like if I like I heard this one lady say she was using a company, and then they out there tripping, they taking all these smoke breaks and shit like that. Like one thing about it, like just like when some of these restaurants and stuff in fucking Atlanta, and they was complaining about how some of them was being ran, and then Ocho Cinco like, oh well, that's like you should support no matter what. It's like no. Cause how the fuck they gonna learn how to do this shit right if if we keep supporting them even though they giving us bad service and bad business, what that's gonna change? Like at the same time, we want to support black businesses, we want to support black entrepreneurship, but damn, you got to do that shit right. Don't be out here with all this dumb junk and all this unprofessionalism. It's crazy we talk. I don't think we did talk about it now when we was like, is professionalism anti-black? And I thought about that. I don't think so. Like professionalism is professionalism. Like people be professional in other countries and all over. It's just my thing about it is like more so the speaking of proper English. That's the part for me. Because it's like in other languages, they don't speak about speaking it. They don't talk about speaking it properly. Like, they just talk. Like most Spanish people, they're not using proper Spanish when they talking. But that's how all of them talk. But I guess that's the difference though, because it's their language. So they speak it how they want to speak it to each other. But when it comes to black people and white people, English is not our language. We were brought here and taught English. And it's like, and then didn't have a good example of it, because them rednecks that was on the goddamn plantations, them motherfuckers don't speak proper English. When you think about it, rednecks, they don't talk right. So that's the thing. We not speaking our language. We speaking someone else's language. And it's like, well, damn, you got to speak it the way they speak it. When it comes to other languages, a lot of the time the language is their fucking, like with Spanish people speaking Spanish, that's their language. So they speak it how they speak it. I took a Spanish class. I took Spanish in college, and we had Spanish professors, and they all said like this is what they teach you in school is proper Spanish, and this is not the way Spanish people speak. Like they basically teaching you Spanish the way you would say it in proper English. But that's not how Spanish people speak. They all use basically like a broken Spanish. But I guess that's the difference though. Like English is not our language.
They got different dialects of Spanish, and yeah, if you do speak that American Spanish to them, they will say something about your accent. That's how they gonna say it.
But it's like they can understand you because they know Spanish, but they'll understand that you speaking it properly. Like, okay, you gotta talk this in school. Spanish people didn't teach you how to. You learned this in school.
You know, just like we got American English and UK English and Canadian English. We having U's and words that we don't have U's in and shit.
But it's like you never heard nobody say. You never heard a Chinese guy be like, "Hey, you're not speaking proper Chinese." Like every other language, you never heard them say that. It's only in the English language and in America they talk about speaking it so properly.
No,
Instead of saying four, you may say four.
Yeah, our language do have a lot of inconsistencies. A lot. Like, we got E's that pop up in letters where, you know, technically it probably shouldn't. Like, photo and photos, and then you got potato and potatoes.
Yeah, English is the hardest language to learn because we got three twos.
Yeah,
we got two and two. We got TWO, as in the number two. Then we got TO. Then we got TOO. Mm-hmm. Like we got there and there. Then we got there, and then we got there as in they are. We got like so many different versions of one fucking thing. So when people do come here and try to learn our language, it's a lot more difficult. But, you know, yeah, man, 19 Keys, I always like what he be saying though, whenever I see him.
Yeah, Geese and Goose.
And like, you know, we do need to bring we need to bring value to our community. But like he said, there's a lot of stars around here with all this money, but ain't what they be doing with it. It's like we got all these black billionaires, but they really not doing nothing. I mean, they making themselves more bigger and better, but like what they really doing.
Well, a lot of it might not be in liquid though.
I mean, shit, I know, like I said, man, I done seen Oprah buy a whole motherfucking, all them cars for her fucking motherfucking people at her show. That I used to do that all the time. Buy everybody in the audience a new car. Which is mostly white people in that fucking audience, because them niggas can't afford to go to that show.
They could have been write-offs.
You know it's a write-off. She doing it, but they
'Cause it
still
was
receiving the fucking car. That's all I'm saying.
Because it's honestly a bunch of game shows too that also be giving out cars and shit like every week.
Yeah, but I mean, of course it's a write-off. It's like, because when you make a lot of money, you got to spend it. So, of course, it's a write-off, but it's like, shit, these people benefiting from this write-off. Like, you know what I mean? The black single mothers, because that's what her show was in Chicago, because she from Chicago. You know what I mean? The black single mothers need a car in the south side of Chicago, dog. like, come on, you could have gave one of them a car.
They ain't come to the show.
They can't come to the show. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, the shit's so crazy because it's like, we don't know. Like, people always say, like, when people say things like this, you might be thinking, oh, well, you just want a handout or something like that. And it's like, I get that. But it's like, we don't know what this building or this shit looked like. Like, we wasn't there when white people first started and was building America. I'm pretty sure they was giving motherfucking shit. Like, somebody had to put shit in place for them to be okay. Or to have better, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we know not all white people are rich. Well, most white people ain't rich because most people in the fucking country not rich. But I'm just saying, like, white people have a lot more resources and things than we have simply because they set themselves up for that very, 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 very long time ago. So when are we going to do that? When we going to start setting each other up to be successful?
Yeah, in my belief, and I hope to be proven wrong, but in my belief, I've always felt like white people got a much better network a much better community to network with.
Yeah. See, when you got money flowing through your community, it's gonna be somewhere. Like these white schools, when you think about universities and high schools, any level, a lot of these motherfuckers be receiving donations and sponsorships from all these big corporations and companies and stuff that's owned by white people. It's like this Jewish, this one, I saw this black dude talking one time. He said the guy said something to him, and at first he was offended, but then he listened to what the Jewish guy had to say. He was like, the Jewish guy held up $1, and he told him, he said, you will never see this dollar. And that's the part that made him a little offended. He was like, hold on, what you mean? But then the Jews got to let me finish. He was like, the reason you will never see this dollar, because I'm going to take this dollar and I'm going to put it in a Jewish bank. See, I got a Jewish business, and Jewish people come to my business and support and spend their money at my business. Then I take that money and I put it in a Jewish bank. So the money is staying within the Jewish community. Black people, we don't put our money. It's black banks out here, but we don't put our money in black banks. Now, don't get me wrong. I know my wife had a black bank one time. It was a whole lot of problems. But then again, sometimes when it comes to things like that, it's because we a small bank and we trying to everything. We don't got the money for everything to be working like it should. But it's like, man, it's like at the same time though, we gotta have a balance of that, of supporting each other, but at the same time, our businesses doing what they supposed to be doing. Because you can't tell us to support you, but then at the same time, we getting bad service. We getting so it got to be some balance there. But shout out to my black people, man. We got to unite. Let's go on to the next topic. What we got next, man?
Yeah, we had to start to talk about that.
19 keys, man. Oh yeah, we got the Department of Education. Trump want to shut it down. Oh man, it's gonna be an ad in there. Trump would have shut down it, the Department of Education. I don't think he has, but it's like, I mean, man, I know it's a lot of, because the Department of Education is basically government funding. So you shut that down, it's gonna be a lot of programs in schools that's in education that are gonna get shut down because there ain't gonna be no funds for it. It's paused, I think. But so, and it's like, okay, if you do that, what you gonna do with all that extra money? But it's like, shoot, to be shutting down the Department of Education right now is crazy because most schools in the damn country, they say most students can't read and shit. Like,
you want to let it play?
Yeah. I want to let the video play.
Welcome in White House reporter from the Wall Street Journal, Ken Thomas, who just penned an article on the president's plan to potentially dismantle the education department. Ken, thank you so much for your time on this. All right, so from your understanding, how would this potential dismantling work?
Yeah, good to be with you, Nicole. So they're looking at a two-step process here. White House officials are looking at an executive order that the president could sign that would involve, on one hand, acknowledging that it would be the role of Congress to outright abolish the Department of Education. But on the other, and the executive order would try to move in this direction, they would urge a number of steps to be taken to dismantle the agency from within. So essentially, they would find the places, the parts of the department that are not in statute, and they would seek to end those functions. And then they would try to, rearrange the way the department operates and move it in a position where it could eventually be abolished. So I think part of that would include a number of job cuts. We've already seen dozens of education department employees placed on administrative leave just in the last week. I think you're likely to see more of that. But then they would also try to, find ways where you could move parts and functions of the department into other places. One example, the student loan office, that's a big part of what the education department does. There has been talk in the past that could be moved into the Treasury Department. There has been discussions in past years where maybe you could move pieces of the department into the Health and Human Services Department or the Labor Department. So that's really how they're envisioning this. This is not a surprise. This is something that President Trump ran on. This was a part of Project 2025. So, and it's certainly something that Republicans in the past have aimed for. So it's not surprising. It is going to be difficult, though. You have to keep in mind that every Republican since Ronald Reagan has tried to do it have not been successful. And to get this through the Senate, it would take 60 votes. So you would certainly need a real bipartisan agreement among Senate Republicans and Democrats to eliminate this department.
Well, the fact that you said that, there's been attempts before. I mean, this is a very big endeavor. So what would happen first? In reality, where would Americans actually see change first?
Well, I think you'd see changes in some of the functionality of the department. I think, you might see first and foremost, a number of, staff members let go. I think they certainly want to reduce the size and scope of the department. And I think then you're going to start seeing the administration try to piece together the way you can sort of reconstruct some of these functions. So, like I said, moving the loan office into Treasury, perhaps. Some of the other things that they do that are very important, they provide resources for disabled students. They're involved in Title I schools for low-income communities and students. They're also involved in they have a civil rights division that's involved in Title IX enforcement. So you could certainly see those pieces put in other parts of the federal government as a way to, continue the function, but just simply not have a Department of Education any longer.
All right, we will see if it happens. Ken Thomas from the Wall Street Journal, thank you so much.
Okay, well, it seems like they just they don't want to get rid of, like, what it's doing. They just don't want these people working. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we take it, we dismantling it, but we like, okay, this certain part gonna go to this division now. So it really like they just trying to get rid of the workers, not the actual programs, like, and all the stuff that comes with it. We just want to get rid of these workers. That's what it seemed like he was saying. Because when I first think about getting rid of the Department of Education, I'm thinking like we want to get rid of the funding from, like, because it's a lot of funding that comes from the government for certain programs in these schools. So I'm thinking they want to get rid of that. But it don't really seem like he was talking about that. It's more so the department itself, like these group of employees, we need to get rid of them. And like he was saying, certain things will get handled by other departments. And then, we just don't have a Department of Education anymore. But then again, like, okay, will that work? Like, because it seemed like you would be putting a more of a load when if they were to dismantle this, get this dismantled, and then certain aspects of it are going to be handled by different departments that already exist. Then it's like, aren't you putting more of a load on those other people? Because like before, the Department of Education handled this. Now we got to handle it. So, but my one I'm thinking about is if you start letting go of these people, where do these people go? Just like they were saying, a lot of people have been losing their jobs because of the DEI situation. But you got all these, like a lot of people a lot of government workers are losing their jobs. And like he said, these people will be starting to get let go. So where do these people go work now? Like, wouldn't that be a whole lot of people you flood that's getting pushed into the unemployment? Like, and then now they got to find a job. So now it's like, I don't know. Like, where do these people go from here? But I guess they in a field, so I guess they could probably find a job somewhere, but I don't know. We'll see how this work out. Like, I just hope if they do dismantle this, it doesn't stop these certain programs that be helping people. And I don't know, maybe something gonna get cut probably. But that's my main concern is like you abolish this department, then it's like what else gets abolished with that? Like, we know the workers are gonna get let go, but is there any programs or policies or anything that's gonna get cut because of this as well? And then, like I said, you got the aspect of a lot of people finna lose their jobs. Like, the Department of Education, I'm pretty sure that just ain't, they probably got all different little subdivisions of it all over the country. So that's probably a lot of people finna lose their job. And then it's like they going into the job market. Like, how does that? But then a lot of illegal immigrants, they ain't working no more neither. So it may even out. Shit. But, those my main concern. And especially when we at a point where like a lot of the country is not reading on the grade level that they should be reading on. And I really think that's a lot because of COVID and them fucking Zoom, like, them kids that was in pre-K and VPK and all that stuff still just learning their names, how to write their names and stuff like that. Then that happened. And then now it's like, now they got to try to learn all this stuff on Zoom, and they just kids. Like when they that little, you need to be hands on with them. Like it's gonna be hard for them to pay attention and on a Zoom call. And then I think a lot of those kids they just pushed them through. And now they trying to learn something and they don't got the foundation of the foundation to learn it. But I don't know. We'll see, man. Trump making a lot of changes. It's crazy though. He said he wasn't part of this 2025 shit, and he doing some of the things that was on the thing. Like the man said it in the video. This was a part of the 2025 project, but he wasn't. He didn't have no association with that. I don't know.
Classic trickery.
What? Speaking of more Trump, White House preparing executive order. Oh well, damn, I'm tripping. We just yeah, but Latita, that's her name. Latita James sues Trump administration over Elon Musk's access to Americans' private data. Wins court battle. Okay, sues Trump administration.
Elon Musk and his so-called Department of Government Efficiency have accessed the personal private information of tens of millions of Americans and sensitive data about public and private entities, social security numbers, addresses, tax returns, and more. This unelected group, led by the world's richest man, is not authorized to have this information, and they explicitly sought this unauthorized access to illegally block payments that millions of Americans rely on, payments for health care, child care, and other essential programs. Today, Democratic attorneys general are taking action to keep Americans' personal data secure, to keep sensitive information about Americans private, and to uphold our Constitution. In the past week, Elon Musk and his so-called Department of Government Efficiency have accessed the personal private information of tens of millions of Americans and sensitive data about public and private entities, social security numbers, addresses, tax returns, and more. This unelected group, led by the world's richest man, is not authorized. We have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for giving unauthorized individuals access to these immensely sensitive records in violation of the law. President Trump does not have the power to give our private information away to whomever he wants. And he does not have the power to cut federal spending that Congress approved, much less to do so by giving the richest man in the world the keys to all Americans' most sensitive information. As Democratic attorneys general, we are suing to stop this unprecedented and unauthorized attack and to protect your personal information. As I've said before, no one is above the law, and I will not hesitate to uphold the rule of law and protect New Yorkers. Thank you. We have filed a
Well, she said they won.
All right.
They talking about in Dodge.
Doge.
Oh, Doge. To access American, like what the fuck? Like what the fuck made Elon Musk fucking? Because he made a fucking electric car. Like what the fuck make him qualified to have all our information? Who the fuck is he? I don't like who. I don't like nobody. Don't fully trust this motherfucker because we don't know what his fucking. We don't know what his angle is. I agree with Candace Owens on this. We don't know anything about this dude. We don't really know what his morals are. We don't really know his character like that. We really don't know. Don't he got a whole bunch of different baby mamas and shit like that? I think he got a bunch of kids and shit. like what type of values are he on? He probably don't believe in God.
He a real. He inching towards being a real life Tony Stark in a scary way, because like he already got Twitter X. Like, so just think about it. He already has hundreds of millions of personal information already just off Twitch. Like, I mean, not Twitch, but Twitter.
What you did? What you trying to do? Mm-hmm. Like, for real, like, I don't trust that shit, man. And Trump, like, all right. Like, I want to know, like, shit, like, man, like, it's just like, who is this dude? Okay, he came out with the electric car. He got all this fucking money. But that don't mean he got them, what the fuck he need our information for? Like she said, people addresses, tax returns, and all type of other information. Social security numbers. What the fuck he need that for? What, like, like, who is this dude? You already, man, listen.
He just stacking up. He up here trying to build shit on the moon.
For real, trying to go to bars and shit.
Building these robots. I think he said like in 10 years he expect every human to have one.
To have what?
One of his Tesla robot.
Well, like in the house, man. Like that movie, it's a movie. I think it's a limited series on Netflix about this AI house, but that bitch trying to kill their ass.
That's a bunch of them.
Hey man, we gotta watch Elon Musk, man. This motherfucker, I don't know, he out here throwing. You saw the sign he did. I don't know. He can't say he was trying to use. Shit.
That's a gesture no one should be copying.
For real. So y'all better look out. What we got next, man? Talk about some other shit on the Stacking Wood podcast, dog. Yeet. We got motherfucking 50 Cent son has a message for Lil Meech at the 50 Cent cut him off. Now we know the whole beef. You know. Well, I mean, really it's the beef with Rick Ross, but now that shit done spilled. I mean, Big Meech took that picture, the car show, all that bullshit, and then 50, then 50 don't fuck with Ricky Rose. He don't fuck with he don't fuck with him. So, 50 Cent, son, I guess he got something to say about it. Say, he acting like 50 now. He want to act like his daddy. Let's see what this nigga saying.
What's up, y'all? I woke up today and I had this overwhelming thought in my head. And I think like something is telling me to tell y'all or share this message with y'all. So I feel like it's somebody out here, or maybe there's a bunch of people out here that need to hear this. And it was like, you thought you were special. You really thought you were special. Who told you you were special? You thought you were special.
See, he acting like 50 right now.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, that's all he had to say. That's funny. Talking about 50 say he gonna be on Love and Hip Hop after this, but we all go to the damn. Did you got that picture? You got the text message from Lil Meech, the 50? Because okay, so we know Big Meech. Well, we know about the whole BMF show. 50 Cent, he owned the rights to the BMF shit, and you know, Meech was the star of the show, and then playing his daddy, and you know, Big Meech done took the picture with Rick Ross. You know, 50 don't fuck with Rick Ross, so you know, them two been having some Big Meech and 50 them been having some back and forth, and you know, and I guess you know he unfollowed him, unfollowed Lil Meech on Instagram. It's so crazy how unfollowing somebody on fucking social media means something. Like, oh, you unfollow me? Like that? Like, oh, I don't fuck with you no more. Like that? Like, but this shit on the internet, shit crazy. But my thing is, he said they just told. Well, I guess you can't tell if somebody unfollowed you or not. You really have to go see. But you know, Meech sent. I mean, 50. It's crazy. 50 posted this motherfucking text, man. Like 50 don't be. Oh, stop. 50 don't pull no punches, nigga. Like
50 punched down.
Yeah, 50 punched down like a motherfucker. Boy, 50 don't give a fuck. But it ain't with 50. It ain't about you being weak or not. Like it don't matter. Like I'll punch up. 50 will punch up or down. He don't care. He ain't just punching down, but he will punch down. But 50 with 50, it ain't about whether you're weak or strong, and it's all about, hey, motherfucker, I don't like you. You don't like me, I don't like you, fuck you, and it's gonna be like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 50 don't pull no punches, whether it's an up punch or a down punch, he pulling it. Like, but he consistent. That one thing about it though, whether it's right or wrong, 50 is consistent. He consistently 50 Cent. And I want to get into the little whole the Irv Gotti thing a little bit too. But okay, so you know, Big Meech was like, they just told me. I mean, they just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram, and now you managing Skilla Baby with Rocket when I brought him around you first, when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I was taking the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. Inhuman. I got through my own shit, but I never switched up on you. I guess he meant I'm human. He probably meant I'm. He was like, fuck Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he could afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet shit is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. And then that nigga 50 put, what next season, little nigga? He called him a little nigga. Hey, listen. Nigga say, hey, my thing is, why the fuck he need Rick Ross to give him some money? Like, you been doing this show and shit. He ain't come home to you having some money for it. I mean, you making money off his name. Probably everything you done did since he been in prison been off him. Like, he need money. Like, why Rick Ross got to give him some money?
This nigga 50 is literally everything he warned us and tell us about grimy niggas. Like 50 is the living embodiment of all the shit he be telling us about.
I don't know how he grimy though.
Like so. A lot of people around him say that he's stingy. So how you gonna be stingy, not give out no money, and then be mad at a nigga for getting?
Well, see, no, they don't be saying he's stingy. They be saying he's saying I'm not just finna give you some shit.
Yeah.
Like Tony Yayo love the man, Cause he made sure he's straight. But it's like, bro, I'm just not finna like 50 said he told Yayo, like one time he was like, he wanted to basically he wanted him to just give him some money. And he was like, he told Yayo, he was like, bro, like when we was in the streets, did I ever just give you something? And he was like, nah. But it's like, shit, like, bro, just because, like, I don't think he's stingy. It's just like, bro, I'm just not finna give you this because, like, it's like, because then if I just give it to you, then you just gonna keep coming back. And, like, and then you not gonna prosper. Like, a lot of them niggas around and be bullshit. Like, Tony Yayo probably could have his own podcast right now if he fucking, because he's really, like, doing them Vlad interviews that got him popular and shit. So he can really start his own shit, and 50 would help him with that if he came to him. But it's plenty of stuff. But he done talked about other stuff where he done came to him and he done help him get shit. But it's like he owns something. I just don't want you to give it to me. I don't think 50. I think like, but shit, he gave the nigga who played Ghost. He gave him money when he was fucked up. Helped him out. Like 50, not a bad dude. It's just that once you cross him, once he feel like you done crossed him, it's like, oh fuck you.
No, I mean I'm a Cancer too, so I understand.
I think that's what it is, and it be like sometimes once he get crossed, his double cross gonna be way worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's stingy. I think 50 help a lot. A lot of people say 50 helped me. A lot of people say that. Like, but sometimes people won't help in a certain way. And sometimes that way is you don't want help. You just want a bitch to do it for you. But I don't think 50's stingy. Like, I done heard Tony Yayo talk about 50 and some of them actors from these stuff, like, they love 50. You know what I'm saying? Now, Hardwick now him and them two motherfuckers don't fuck with each other because no more now because of something that the nigga Amari Hardwick said. I forgot what he said on fucking Breakfast Club or something. And 50 was like, motherfucker, like, what? Like, motherfuckers be doing a lot to help these motherfuckers, just like with him and Young Buck. Before they got fucked up, there's a lot of stuff he helped them do, but it's like you was just fucking off. Like, it's certain deals he could have had and shit, but he was fucking off. But, like, you know, it's just like I said, I think 50 a good dude. Like, he a good dude to have in your corner. But when you cross him, like it's over for your ass. Well, he the person you want to be. He a good friend and an even worse enemy.
Oh yeah.
Just like with the whole, you know, Irv Gotti. You know, R.I.P. Irv Gotti. You know, God bless him. He passed away at 54 from a second stroke, and they say he was battling diabetes. But Fifth trolled him. But it's like, hey, I don't know. I feel like that beef between Murder Inc. and 50 was so long ago. So, you know, if it was me, but then again, we don't know where this shit still stands. Just because it ain't all over social media that they don't like each other, we don't know what's going on.
Didn't 50 get stabbed behind beefing with them niggas?
Shit, he got shot 9 times behind them niggas. It wasn't them, though. Like, it wasn't like they did it. It was somebody in their entourage, basically. Like, it's somebody y'all was cool with and they kind of did it off y'all, but y'all didn't, like, tell them to do it. Because, I mean, I remember watching American Gangster. Remember the show American Gangster used to come on BET? And they used to have Vin Raines as the narrator. They used to talk about, like, they talked about Frank Lucas on there, Ray Follett, man, and a bunch of other gangsters from like the 80s and from past times. And it's this one guy was on there, I forgot his goddamn name, but I think he robbed banks. He was a bank robber. And that motherfucker ended up going to prison and stuff, but then he got out and like like kind of turned his life around a little bit. Like he got into music, but he was a part of it. Like he was a part of Ja Rule them entourage in some type of way. I can't remember exactly how, but he was part of their entourage. And you know, 50 was going at, before we knew who 50 was, he was going at them niggas. We knew who Ja Rule was at that time. That's when he had just came out. But 50 was still underground, but he was going at them niggas. Because you know, when 50 got shot 9 times, he was rapping and shit. He just hadn't blew up yet. But it was about that. Like that dude was warning him, like, leave Ja Rule alone.
Mm-hmm.
That guy. So, and you know, we know he got shot 9 times. And then I saw some people talking with Anton Daniels, their panel, they was talking about this. And they didn't really know all the facts like that. The one guy brought up about the stabbing at the studio, though. That was real. It was a stabbing at that studio. I done heard the one guy who was stabbing motherfuckers, I heard him talking about it. Cause he was like, somehow the lights they was fighting and shit, but then the lights went off. Mm-hmm. And then he heard somebody say, grab the gun. They ain't say gun, they probably said whatever street term they used, but they basically was like, somebody get the gun. So he was like, he heard that. So he just went to stabbing niggas. He could have stabbed some of his own niggas. He didn't, he just went to stabbing people. At least that's what he said. But after 50 got shot that 9 times, like they was on the Anton Daniels panel, the one girl was saying, oh well, Irv Gotti and Ja Rule them was blocking him from getting signed and stuff. And I don't think that was true. I just think it was everything that came with him. Like, you done got shot 9 times, and like, I remember when Boosie was saying he couldn't get signed because they felt like you might be dead in a year or 2 if we sign you. Like, 50 was just, he was too street. A lot of labels didn't want to fuck with him because of being, but I think he was being blackballed a little bit, but I don't know if it was by Ja Rule and whatchamacallit. I think it was more so about him. Like, yeah, that shit got something to do with it because you in this beef. You got shot 9 times, walk around with bulletproof vests on and shit. Goddamn bulletproof hats and shit. Like, shit, but you see who signed him? Dr. Dre and Eminem signed him. They was willing to take the chance on him. But it was a little bit of blackballing, but I don't know if it was exactly Ja Rule. Because what fucking power they had back then? They was just getting on themselves. So how much power they got to stop him from being signed with these other labels? They had their own label, Murder Inc., which they probably had a distribution deal or some shit like that. Because I know he owned a lot of motherfucking Shantae, owned a lot of Shantae music. But I don't know if it was exactly them blackballing him. I know it had something to do with all the gangster shit he was involved in. I know that had something to do with him.
He also did make How to Rob, where he done dissed everybody too.
For real, like that Power of the Dollar, I think that's the mixtape he had done made when he got shot. Either like, you know, around the time he got shot, around the time that shit was coming out or came out. It was around that time because he got shot before we knew him, but he blew up like a year later.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
I still play How to Rob at least once a year.
I like that. Nobody likes me, but that's okay, cause I don't like y'all anyway. And that was on Get Rich or Die Trying, but it was on that other CD too. Yeah. It was on that Power of the Dollar, but he put it on Get Rich or Die Trying too. I like that song. Like that nigga said, 50 was okay. Y'all don't understand what 50 done been through. Like niggas, like he said, I grew up around some niggas that's not my homies. Like, so he grew up, niggas beating him up and shit, jumping him and shit. Like man, y'all don't know what 50 done been through, dog. Like 50 done been through some shit. And that's how you create monsters. You be in the hood, and it always be a couple niggas that for some reason they don't like that nigga, and they always beating him up and fighting him and all that shit. And all they doing is when he get older, oh man, they ain't gonna want no parts. So them same niggas ain't gonna want no parts of, and everybody else ain't either. And 51 of them niggas.
But the thing is, and he know how to play the heel and the hero, like in wrestling terms. For this, he can switch that shit on like a glove, like a switch. Like, cause he'll do some shit like this, knowing the people ain't gonna like him. Like, they roasting him in the comments, but watch he do some real shit 2 weeks later, and then they gonna be suited up again, like, you know, hey.
Hey, I think he go. But he still hasn't ended the show. He said that, but the show hasn't ended. So I don't know. I don't think he's gonna end the show over this. If he do, that'd be crazy.
Bro, this could be some fucking promo. Cause you'll get paid off the show either way. This could just be promo. Cause like, and at the same time, he also manipulating the situation to still show that he don't fuck with Ross. But he probably still gonna let the season go. But he done already alluded that, like, if stars say they want to do whatever direction with the show, he ain't gonna say nothing no more.
Whatever direction they want to go in with it.
Yeah, he taking his hands off the wheels. Like, y'all want to crash this bitch, cool.
But, hey, man, fifth being fifth, though. One thing you can't get mad at is the man consistent. You can't get mad at that. He being him. Hey, what we got next, man? Oh, okay. Yeah, we gonna make this the last topic. Well, not there. Well, fuck Red Rock. I was talking. I meant the Lamar Jackson thing. I want to make that. We can make this the last topic. We approaching that time. Rick Ross trying to make a damn BMF movie. His dumb ass don't know the man own the rights, so he can't make no fucking movie. At least when he made this video, I know after this video, people came out with shit like, "Hey, he owned 50 on the rights, so you can't make no movie." But all right, so NFL time. We're gonna go out on the NFL, dog. Man, they talking about Lamar was robbed of the MVP. Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills was the MVP. He got it. A lot of people saying, Lamar Jackson should have won because, Lamar Jackson threw for over 4,000 yards. He rushed for over 900, almost 1,000, and which was a career high. And then he had a career high touchdown passes with 41. So he had the best offensive performance this year. So a lot of people feel like, oh well, I think he got all pro too. But people feel like, if you the best offensive player for the year, then you should get MVP. Those stats right there. He got way better stats than him. But my whole thing is, I thought Josh Allen should have got the MVP this year. But it's really all about how you look at the award. It says the most valuable player. I always thought the MVP was the person who was most valuable to their team. Now, I guess you could say, well, he put up all those stats, so he's the most valuable to his team. But it's like Lamar Jackson on a good-ass team. Like, you think if they take if you stuck another competent quarterback on the Baltimore Ravens, they would still be a pretty good team. Now, they might not be Super Bowl caliber, but they probably will go to the playoffs. They had from week 10 all the way to the end of the season, they had the number 2 defense. He got a guy in the backfield that rushed for 1,900 yards and scored a touchdown in damn near every game. He got weapon. He got Mark Andrews, was one of the top tight ends. He got Zay Flowers, one of the rising wide receivers. He got Likely. He got Aguilar. He's on a really good team. So and then they was still second behind it. They was behind this dude. This dude team was better than his. And his team is less talented. Lamar Jackson could have some. Look, I mean, and then this year with the team that Lamar Jackson had, they lost to the Browns, and they lost to another damn team they weren't supposed to lose to. They was what, like 11? They was like what, 12-5? I think he was 13-4. Now he did beat Josh Allen this year, but Josh Allen lost Stephon Diggs. He lost a lot of other pieces to the team. His team wasn't projected to be as good as it was. We knew what the Ravens was gonna be. They got fucking damn. The fuck I forget his name. But the nigga in the backfield. God damn, I forget his name. Fucking Derrick Henry. Shit, he got Derrick Henry in the backfield. So this dude Josh Allen carried his team all year. Every single game, if he doesn't play good, they're gonna lose. If you take Josh Allen off for the Bills, they do not make it to the playoffs. They do not be number two. They not become number 2 in the AFC behind Patrick Mahomes. And he made it to the AFC Championship game. You didn't. Lamar didn't. Now, it wasn't his fault. But he did turn the ball over twice in that game. Josh Allen did turn the ball over the whole postseason. You know? And with his team, without having as many weapons as he had, he still threw for 3,700 yards. He still had 28 touchdown passes and 12 rushing. So he still scored. He still had 40 touchdowns. He had 40 touchdowns. The fact that he had so many rushing TDs, let you know he was carrying the team. I'm throwing touchdowns and running them. Lamar had 4 rushing touchdowns. He had 41 passing though. But to have 41 touchdowns, you got to be throwing it to somebody. But he got 28 touchdowns passing and 12 rushing. He still had 40 touchdowns. But I think when you have a team and you elevate it to the heights that Josh Allen did, you the most valuable player. Now, if you want to say the most valuable players who had the best statistical season, but I think that's the difference. The people who think Lamar is the MVP, they think he the MVP because he had the best statistical season this year. Well, really, I think Patrick Mahomes the fucking MVP every year, really. But I guess you can't give it to him all the time. You can't give it to him all the time because if you take him off the Chiefs, they not going to no fucking Super Bowl every year. But, hey.
You see that comment right there?
Josh played 8 less quarters of football than Lamar. 1 Pro Bowler teammate compared to 8 on the Ravens. Right there. He got 8 Pro Bowlers on his team. That's help, motherfucker. Not saying you don't need it, shit. You need a good team to win. But this man elevated his team. So, like, that's why I think he the MVP. But, you know, some people think you got the best statistical season, you're the MVP. But, hey. Like, Lamar was named first team all-pro quarterback while Josh won MVP despite both awards being voted on by the same people. People got difference of opinions. But hey, man, that's it for the day, man. Stacking Wood podcast, man. Coming to the end for the day. But hey, man, I think we had a pretty good episode, pretty good topics. We're going to keep bringing it to y'all. We're going to keep putting out content, bringing y'all these topics, bringing y'all our perspective and our views on the world, man. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please like and subscribe, and TikTok. Holla.